Hey everybody, good morning. I'll start the video feed in just a second. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, we had a good day here too, David. We had some sun. Ugh, it's good. I actually like the rainy weather. All right. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. Because we're aiming at a higher tempo, I wanted to warm us up with something a little bit lower. So we're going to start at 112 today. I'm going to start the video feed here in just a sec. Yes. Okay, everything is running. That's good. That's a good thing. All right. Spinning a lot of plates here. Yeah. Okay, that's going. Good. Okay, what I want to do today, our target tempo today is 126 BPM. But I think we need to warm up a little bit. No sense of just jumping in the deep end right away. Let's ease on into the shallower end here. We're going to start with 112, which is where we were yesterday. A lot of you guys were pretty comfortable with 112 yesterday. So I think that is a nice place to start. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bounce you around that first line just for a minute or two, just to get the blood flowing, and then I am going to take us up to 126. Big echo. Thank you guys. That'll fix it. Sorry about that. Yeah, for some reason this software loves to turn on the second audio stream. All right, let that sink in. I'm going to let the video catch up. Hopefully your double audio is fixed. And I'm kicking my mic around. Let that sink in. Here we go. I'm going to just start us on home. 1, 2, 3, 4. 112. A, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4. Home, 2, 3, 4. Good. Keep going. This is just our preliminary warm-up. We're going to stop in a second. I want to go back and forth between home and A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Home. A. Home. A. See if you can bury that click. Last time. Back home. Stay on home and get quiet. Right on the click. Fade out. And 1, 2, 3, out. Good. Without wasting any time, we're jumping right into 126. Let's feel that shift this morning. Glad the audio's fixed, guys. Thanks for your patience. There's a lot going on. Jeez. I don't know why it keeps opening that other stream on that mixer automatically. It's very strange. Okay, here we go. 126. Let that sink in. Feel that. Nice and easy. Now, at these faster tempos, what needs to happen? One of the main things that needs to happen in these faster tempos is that you get even more relaxed, your hand gets even softer, and maybe the distance at which you are hitting the strings gets smaller. So tighten up your movements. Obviously, you're not going to be able to go fast if your movements are huge and exaggerated. Nice and easy. Here we go. We're going to stay with home. We're going to do that first line at 126. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. I want to speed that up so bad. A, 2, 3, 4. Don't neglect that fifth string. B, 2, 3, 4. This is tough, deceptively tough. Also very musically useful. C, 2, 3, 4. Repeat C. Home, 2, 3, 4. Don't get ahead of it. Relax. Soft hands. You don't need to be killing it. Derive the motion from the fulcrum, not the ends of the fingers. You'll be more consistent from phrase to phrase. We talked about that yesterday. Okay, what I want to do is we're going to do home, A, and B as written. One measure each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Home, A, B. Home, A, B. Last time, A, B. Stay home. All right, now I want to take A and B. One measure each. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B. A, B. Last time and then back home. Home. Did I play A twice? Don't answer. Don't put your banjo down to answer me. Good grief. All right. We're going to play C now, and remember, we have an imaginary measure. It's the reverse of C. We're going to play them back to back on my mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, reverse. C, reverse. Keep going, don't stop. And then home. Home. Get quiet. We're not fading out though. All right, we're gonna get back to normal volume. Let's turn this into an M skip exercise. So we are going to purposefully miss our downstroke on the first string. If you find yourself having trouble with this, just play home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the pulse going. Okay, bring back home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof. And we're gonna go out here. 1, 2, 3, out. Woo. Hopefully your hand and wrist and forearm, they're a little warm. Nice, 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 but not too warm. Ah, Ryan is fashionably late. Good. I'm glad you're here, Ryan. Nice, nice, nice. Let those arms down at your side, relax, and prep for the worst line of the series at 126. I'm a little concerned. Let me know if you have questions, comments. How did that feel to everybody? Let me know. I'm going to make sure I'm in tune. I probably should have done this at the top. That's pretty good. I'm not going to fuss with it. Okay. Yeah, let me know how everybody did, and then we'll get started. Take a little break. Some of you may be wondering why I'm kind of going up at sort of strange intervals. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 8. This metronome doesn't have, it's kind of got, I don't know if the numbers are truly random, but it does skip numbers. Like it goes from 108 to 112 to 116 to 120 to 126 to 132. I guess it's by 6. Or no, not all the time. Sometimes it's by 4. It's kind of all over the map. So that's why I'm not doing like 100 to 110 to 120 to 130, which is kind of cool because it may make us stretch more than we would, otherwise. More challenging. Love the M skip. Yes, almost too fast for me. That's okay, Don. I'm going to give you guys some pointers if and when things get too fast. Felt good, good. More challenging, yes. Okay, Don, almost too fast for you. Okay, so you're going to hit your speed cap fairly soon. Check this out. So let's say tomorrow we hit 138. Is that 138? That's 138. Significantly faster. I'm going to be playing this tomorrow. You could still, even if that's beyond your current speed cap right now, you could still play along with me by having that beat. So you go from this to this. So that every stroke, both strokes, the downstroke and the thumb stroke are getting a click. In fact, pick up your banjos real quick. Let's try this together at 126. This is a good illustration of different ways to use the metronome. We're just going to do this real quick before getting into the second line. So we're going to start with that click on every downstroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to have it when I count to 4. See if you can make the transition with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. Just an idea for those of you who are about to hit your speed caps as a way of still working with me in time, getting those repetitions in to develop your abilities further. The nice thing about tagging every single beat, both the downstroke and the upstroke with a click, is that it really forces that fifth string to happen on the click. That is really challenging for me. If you heard me, my tempo or my timing on the fifth string kind of wavered on the click just a little bit. It's a very challenging exercise. One of the flaws of this method, though, is there may be some times when is that possible? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I may end up counting on the one on your fifth string, but I hope that doesn't happen too often. You would have to stop and make an adjustment if that's the case. I don't know if there's no real way for me to track both of those streams in my head at the same time without getting super precise about how many measures we're doing when, which we may end up doing when we get faster anyway. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, doing some maths. Let me catch up. Notice that the first string is too loud on B and C. That is definitely plausible. As an advanced player, David, you would want to kind of soften that a little bit. So that's good listening, good listening. M skip is the hardest, but otherwise okay. Good. Speed felt surprisingly comfortable. Excellent. If you are finding that challenging at the edge of your abilities, don't worry. Don't be concerned. You've got it. This is important information for you. Whenever you can get data on your deficiencies, you should consider that a major win. It's a major gift for you as a musician. I know that it's hard to think that way. Usually when going through life, when we find something we're bad at, we steer clear of it because it's hard. That's a hard thing for the ego to face. But I want you to turn that on its head. As a Banjo Quest person, we are inverting that usual law of human nature. And when we discover something that is not good about our playing, we stare it in the face and we conquer it. That is one of the major inspirations for the Banjo Quest logo, that big dragon. If you are facing a dragon today, don't back away, look it in its face, and scream at it. All right, speaking of screaming at dragons. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, second line, drop thumb. Loosen it up, breathe. I can't stress how important breathing is to this whole process. If you find yourself carrying tension in any part of your body, it's going to impact you in some way. It just is. It's weird that it does that, but it does. Music is all about being relaxed, being at ease, and being comfortable. Okay, look at that D measure. Drop thumb. This is great training. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is hard for you. If it's fast, go back home. If you're not ready to give up on it yet, soften your hands. Relax your hands. Relax and take a breath. If you're tense, the speed is going to be difficult. All right, we're going to do 2 of D and 2 of E on my mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, D. D. E. E. D. D. E. E. D. got it. It's funny going through this. Keep playing. Going through this, my mind kind of wanders, and if it wanders and I get distracted thinking about the software or watching chat or seeing a bird out the window or whatever, sometimes the distraction helps me relax, and other times it makes me lose the thread. So I don't know what to tell you there. I don't know what to say. Here we go. We're doing F. I want to repeat F now. Look at it ahead of time. I'm going to give you a second to look at it before we play it. Look at F. Remember what we're doing here. Remind yourself. Visualize playing that measure perfectly. Here we go on my mark. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you advanced players make this sound round and beautiful? Repeated. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Home, 2, 3, 4. All right, F and G back to back. Let's do this, guys. One measure each. Climb down and then climb back out again. On my mark, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. I think that's getting easier. Fade. Keep the tempo up. Keep the intensity up even though you're quiet. Be crisp. Don't get lazy on it. 1, 2, 3, out. Good. Let me tell you a little story while the chat catches up. When I've been in the studio as a drummer, in my former life as a drummer, I was often taught and told, especially by engineers, to see if I could, while playing overdubs, to try to get to the point where my hits on the kit, the ones on the downbeats, the important ones, were covering the click so precisely that the click would disappear. And I struggled with that for a while. And then I started, the more I did it, the more I focused on it and practiced at home, the better I got at it. And then I can remember in the, for the recording of the School Tree album, there were moments that I had where I would be playing along with the click in my headphones, and suddenly the click would totally disappear because I was right on the money. And it was this sort of disconcerting, but also very freeing kind of feeling. And so I would encourage you at home to see our relationship to this click is more complicated than it would seem on its face. Initially, when you play with a metronome, you think, oh yeah, it's just keeping the beat for me and I'm just following along. But you can play a little bit ahead of the beat, you can play behind the beat, or you can play dead on the beat. It's a very fluid way to understand tempo, and drummers often use this to their advantage when they're trying to create certain feels. And actually, I think banjo players do it too. Some banjo players can play sort of behind the beat in this sort of languid style. They're sort of in this deep pocket where they're sort of holding back a little bit. Other banjo players surge ahead to create this sense of urgency, and others may play right on the beat. So it's just a more complicated and nuanced way to think about this click that we're dealing with. And if you want to know when you're right on, that downstroke should pretty much bury the click. Unless the click is really loud, it should pretty much bury it. And if you do it right, it almost goes away in this sort of uncanny moment. So look for that. Try to achieve that in your own playing. See if you can make it happen. It's probably hard to do on video, but if you're working with a metronome on your own, it's something to look out for. Let me catch up on chat. Ryan has a question. Tom, when you're ascending the drop thumbs in G, is your thumb muting the lower strings as it goes up? Yes. Yes, it is. Not just really my whole like this. Yes, it is muting. Clawhammer has a really unique quality to it in that you are muting notes just as much as you are sounding notes. And that's what can lend clawhammer this very linear, lean sound. Because if you think about it, measure G is the perfect example. As soon as I'm off 3 and 4 and landing that next downstroke on 2 and 3, 3 and 4 get muted by my downstroke. And that truncates notes, which is really interesting. I think it does happen in of course it happens in other stringed instruments, but I don't think to the degree that it does in clawhammer. Maybe you guys can name some other styles of playing a stringed instrument that has this muting built in. I don't know. It's something that I've thought a lot about in sort of made that major discovery while playing. It seemed probably obvious, but for me, I made that major discovery during the filming of Banjo Blitz. And so, I don't know, it opens up interesting avenues of discussion and a way to think about the clawhammer stroke. Anyway, I hope that helps. Speed made my thumb seem to get fatter at the lower strings, getting caught between the 4th and the 5th. Yes, yes, yes. I feel your pain. It is a product of speed because probably you're not dropping your hand in with the same accuracy that you were at slower tempos. But that's going to give way. The more you do this, the more you're going to get a sixth sense of where that thumb should go. Here's a trick, and you might have noticed while we were just playing, I stopped looking at my hands at a certain point and just closed my eyes. So I looked, and then I looked away. Sometimes the visual component of what we're doing is really helpful. For example, when I start F and G on a rainy morning, on a rainy Friday morning, I need the visual input in terms of getting my hand in the correct position. But there are times when that visual input can disturb or cause you to screw up, because that auditory thing, the touch thing, and the visual input thing, those are 3 streams of information that we have as musicians. If you think of it that way, that's a lot of bandwidth that we're trying to soak up. Sometimes that visual cue is really important, and sometimes it's too much. So you may want to, Curtis, this is just an idea, you may want to jettison that if you were looking, because it might have been interfering with you, because you might have been trying to like target that 4th string in a way with your visual senses that might have been too much for your bandwidth to keep track of at the moment. Anyway, just sort of thinking about loud. We are bombarded as musicians with lots of information streams. touch, hearing, and sight being the three. I don't know if taste, can we taste our banjos? Let's not even go there. But maybe cutting off one of those streams can help you simplify your approach so there's less going on. I don't know. Maybe you weren't looking. Maybe you need to look. Maybe you need the additional information stream at least for a little while. So think about how you're juggling those information streams in your playing and adjust accordingly and see if that can get you sort of over the plateau or over the hump. Oh, that was all for Chris. Why did I think that was... I'm reading too fast. Chris, that was all directed to you. Not Curtis. David, so the side of your thumb is resting on the strings to mute as you go up. David? Yeah, probably a little bit. It's not resting, though. It's dabbing in on the downstroke. It's sort of, I'm not clearing it now, or I'm not avoiding the strings. Now, if I wanted those strings to ring, if I was in a situation, maybe a slower situation, where I want to extract the maximum amount of sustain, I would be probably more careful about how I approached it, and my thumb wouldn't go in as deep into the strings. But you're still going to mute that third string on the second downstroke because your thumb has to hit it for the second thumb stroke, if that makes sense. But I could theoretically keep the fourth string ringing on my next downstroke if I was really careful. Interesting, Ryan can confirm this. There are techniques out there recently discovered by me, but mastered by an incredible banjo player named Steve Boffman, who, if you go to Walker, I don't know if any of you were at Walker Creek. Ryan was, he was Steve Boffman's TA there. Steve has come up with some amazing techniques for clawhammer that do involve such careful thumb placement as to not mute. It's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah, if you don't know who Steve Boffman is, you should look him up. He's such a fantastic player. His technique is so incredible, and he has just a beautiful touch and a really beautiful sense of rhythm. Anyway, synthesis. Dave, synesthesia. I don't have synesthesia, though sometimes I think I'm on the edge because I do think in terms, I think in terms of color and shape when I play, but I don't have a true synesthesia. I'm kind of on the edge, but I'm such a visual thinker that I do identify chord blocks and structures of tunes with color. And actually I was thinking of getting into that at some point, but it may not be useful. It may end up being just confusing. It works for me, for my little brain. All right, let's get going on the last line. Does anybody have real synesthesia out there? 26. We're going to the heart line. I love this line. This makes me feel good when I play it. If I could take one technique to a desert island, this is random. If I was going to take one technique to a desert island that I could only play for the rest of my life, it would be the alternate string pull-off. There, I said it. Hopefully that doesn't happen to me. That would be weird. Yeah, Ryan says I wasn't going to mention Steve's mute-free technique, Tom, because I think we both still have a little hum. Yes, I may call on Steve at some point in Banjo Quest and maybe do like I don't know, thinking out loud, maybe interview him or something. He's got some good thoughts on some very unusual clawhammer techniques that are highly improbable, but work. Okay, last line. Heart. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're struggling with this alternate string pull-off, go to home. If you need to tighten it up, that initial downstroke Note that you're connecting with the banjo on the initial downstroke with both hands at the same time. Connect, 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 connect. That gets your left finger that's going to perform the pull-off in the right place at the right time, or at the right place before it needs to be there. I hope that made sense. It did to me. Okay, 4 of the heart, 4 of H. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart, heart, H, H, heart, heart, H, H. Last one. Heart. Throwing you a curveball, get ready. Heart and J, 2 of each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart. Heart. J. Heart. Heart. Heart, heart, J, J, heart. Last time. And home. Whew. Let that arm out. Relax. Let the blood return to the hand. Keep on the home. Ah. Come on, Tom. All right, can we play the entire last line all together? One measure at a time at this tempo. It's going to be a challenge. If you lose it, just try to just jump back on the wagon, the horse, whatever we're on, the train. I don't know. What are we on? Give you a minute here to rest. All right, here we go. Heart. One at a time, on my mark, starting at the heart, all the way through that first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to home. Screwed that last one up. Woo. You gotta stay focused. All right. You guys up for a challenge? I'm assuming you are. I am. Look at the entire sheet. We're doing it. We're playing through the entire boot camp at 126. One measure each, no repeats until you get to the end, and then we're going all the way back to the beginning. We can do this. We can do this. If you fall off whatever we're writing, just go home or do the first line or whatever, okay? Okay, here we go. We can do this. On my mark, starting with home. 1, 2, 3, 4, home. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Anybody make it? Let me know when we take a break. We're gonna drift off here. End on a win. Nice and precise. Get quiet. Fade out. And out. 1, 2, 3, out. Anybody survive that madness? I almost dropped the ball. A couple times I felt my tempo drift a little bit. So we're just, you just stay with it. That was kind of a curveball. But again, this is sort of how you can approach a sheet like this, which on its face looks so simple. There are all these kinds of games that you can play with it, and you can play it as a sheet of music, or you could, if your drop thumb is lagging behind, you work on the second line at a slower tempo, and then you work on the first and third lines as a unit. So you do just what we did in that last bit. Home A, B, C, heart H, I, J at a faster tempo. Meanwhile, you're working on D, E, F, and G at slower tempos separately. There are all these things that you can do. I really believe that a sheet like this can serve you for many, many, many years as a banjo player, in a way that a tune can. So, I think of it as the same way as I do a tune. Who survived? Let's see. David said, I really like the drop thumb in J as a resolution. Yes, David, that resolves in a nice way. It also resolves into sheet 2, which I'm not going to drop for this boot camp. We'll do it at a later date, but it's involving these, sweeps, lots of sweeps. Yeah, what do you guys think? How'd you do? Did you survive? Who survived? Who fell? I want to know. Okay, and before we walking wounded, measure transition at that tempo is difficult. Yes. I really slowed down on H. What is your fingering on this? Yes, good question, Don. My fingering is, my first finger is planted on the first fret second string, and my ring finger is doing the pull off on fret 2 on the first string. That ring finger needs to pull, then it needs to get right back down on that second fret first string for the next subsequent downstroke. Pull down. Pull down. Pull and down. Hope that helps. So heart and H, I'm using the same finger to do my alternate string pull off. Technically, I could be played with either the first or the ring finger, as I think Curtis, did you mention that? But I'm having us do the first finger because I just want you to be aware of the first finger as a useful finger to do alternate string pull-offs. I think it would be easily taken for granted that the ring finger, or assume that the ring finger does all your alternate string pull-offs all the time if we didn't do that. But if I is really getting you, or you're not liking the tone that you're getting, you can use your ring finger on the third fret or second fret to derive that I pattern. Hopefully that clarifies. Let's see. Clint says, pretty close after the first run through. Okay, good one. Yes, good. Yeah, that's something that we're going to do again soon. Mesh motion car crash into H. Yeah, I know. That's tough because that last line, what I found difficult, Chris, is that for the first two lines, we don't have our left hand on the banjo. And for that last line, you've got to get there. So that can cause, maybe the answer is to just keep the hand ready, the left hand ready, especially at faster tempos. We may need to do that. But yes, I know why you had the car crash. Fast motion. Sorry to hear that. Hope the airbag's deployed. Okay. Let's take a look at tomorrow's tempo. 138. Real quick. Let's take a look at it on D. Let's just get this out of the way. Let's not have this hanging above our heads like a drop thumb guillotine. Get it out of the way. We're doing line D. I am going to play D, E, F, and G at, what am I? 138 as a glimpse into what we're doing tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last line would be that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. If you want to get a little jump on that. And remember, one of the ways to play fast is to practice slow. So if that was out of your reach, don't spend your hours right now, if you've got time, or later tonight or whatever. Don't spend your time just beating your head against the wall. Slow it down to where you're really comfortable and try to relax as much as possible. It's kind of a funny thing to think about, but in order to give way to these higher speeds, relaxation is key, and therefore you need to spend times at those slower speeds, letting the muscles go and letting your hands be soft. It's all about small, soft motions that are happening without a lot of conscious thought. They just sort of are autopilot. That's the key, I think, to unlocking these fast speeds. And remember, this is a week. This is just a week of this kind of training. It takes a while. So hopefully this has started some habits for you guys that you'll continue. Let me jump on over to chat, see if there's anything else. Good, Dave. Did you like 138? Let me just write it down for tomorrow. I was going to do slower, but I think we're just going for it. So that's, we did 126 today, 138 tomorrow, which means on Sunday we're really going to do a range. Sunday would put us at, I would say 152. We're going to get there, and then we're going to go beyond. 152 plus on Sunday. Remember, if that is out of your reach, show up anyway and do that halftime thing that I showed you. Or double time? I never can remember what that is. Double time? Halftime? Double time. Double time. Be double time. Okay, good. Any questions? Any questions? 2 more days of boot camp left, Saturday and Sunday. We're going for it. I really enjoyed this. It has been a highlight of my day for this week. So I really appreciate all of you guys joining me. I'm a little bit behind in the high quality uploads. Those are happening. It just takes a really long time for my computer and the interwebs to process it. And I've got a vacuum cleaner outside my door, which means I'm signing off. I will jump on chat for a few minutes to hang out with you guys. Bye-bye.